in for Hannity each afternoon at 3 p.m. Talk 96.3 and 103.7. Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort.
A Harris administration together with Joe Biden.
Harris-Biden administration.
This is a strange election, isn't it?
Wildfires are racing across the West, and another hurricane threatens our coast.
Time's a wasting.
Republicans are deniers of climate change.
Mr. President, science knows.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Woo! You'd think somebody that has early stages of dementia would not be talking about how science knows. It is a strange election. So yesterday, as we were finishing up the program, I shared a story with you about two Ohio high school students, Brady Williams and Jared Bentley. They're the two that came on to the football field. They had two flags in support of first responders. This was before a football game on September the 11th, and they went. They asked permission. Permission was denied. The boys say this is too important for us. Jared's father was a firefighter. He carried the thin red flag, and the other flag was the blue line flag in support of police officers. They were suspended because they went ahead and carried the flags out onto the field the day of the football game on September the 11th. Yesterday, it came out there was such an outcry nationwide that the two boys are back on the team. They're back into school. So there you go. Even liberal school superintendents sometimes have to back down. WITN News and a lot of other media outlets are reporting this afternoon that Republican gubernatorial candidate Dan Forest has called for all North Carolina K-12 public schools to reopen without requiring students or teachers to wear masks. At a Wednesday morning press conference, he said he would not mandate masks if he were the governor and wants the state to quickly move to Plan A so everyone can have 100% in-person learning. It was really interesting this afternoon. The News and Observer, right after this press conference, and it was more than just Dan Forest. Phil Berger was there along with others, and saying, look, we need to get back to normal. This thing has been overplayed. It is political. We need to get back to normal. So this afternoon, I noticed the News and Observer had the headlines on their Under the Dome page, how terrible the situation is, that COVID is spiking again, and follow the science, as the liberals like to say, but they don't really follow it, do they? There is no science that would mandate that we stay shut down. I think part of this is not a winning political strategy for the governor, and I think Dan Forest has got some ground to make up in the next 48 days. And I think this is partially why he's doing what he's doing. I agree with him. It is not practical. The students aren't getting it. The students aren't spreading it. And yet we are penalizing our students in the public school system. They're not getting a decent education. This is really interesting. According to Rasmussen, this is out of the Washington Examiner. According to Rasmussen, and again, I've said all along, I'll say it before I go into this, you live by the polls, you die by the polls. I like to look at a lot of things. I'll look at the polls, I'll mention the polls, but you've got to look at a lot of other things because the polls are wrong a lot. According to a new I say all that, then I'll give you a poll. According to a new Rasmussen Reports survey, for the first time, President Trump is leading Joe Biden among respondents. Trump's approval rating has surged to tie his highest percentage this year. Rasmussen conducts a weekly survey. Trump garnered 47% of respondents' votes, while Biden obtained 46%. Additionally, Trump's approval rating rose to 52%. That's the highest it's been this year. Rasmussen, which called Hillary Clinton's margin of popular vote when the 2016, they called that accurately, they did not oversample Democrats as most of these other pollsters do. In this poll, Democrats were 33%, Republicans were 30%. I'm sorry, Democrats were 37%, Republicans were 33%, Independents were 30%. And what's interesting about another aspect of this poll is top Latino Democrats are voicing growing concern about Joe Biden's campaign, warning that lackluster efforts to win the support of their community could have devastating consequences in November. Recent polls show that President Trump's inroads with Latinos have set off a fresh round of frustration and finger-pointing among Democrats, confirming problems some have simmered for months. On Tuesday, Joe Biden was down in Florida, and I've got more about the Florida campaign. But when he was down there doing his little dance, can't make this stuff up, he was playing the music to Despacito, Hispanic popular song. He was jiving to the music, bobblehead Biden jiving to the music. But during that stop, he said he compared Trump to Fidel Castro, saying that he was more like Fidel Castro than he was like Churchill. You know, it's rather ironic because one of the common themes you hear from Latino voters over and over and over again is, you know what, they have seen what happens when socialism, communism takes over their home countries. That's why they're in the United States now. That's why there's so many Cubans in Miami now, because of what happened under Fidel Castro. They have seen what it's like to be under socialism, to have a socialist leader. And Joe Biden, while he might be a puppet, he's being controlled by the Bernie Sanders AOC socialist wing of the Democrat Party. They see that. That's why they're running from Joe and running to Donald. But getting back to bobblehead Biden. So he goes into this campaign rally. By the way, he shows up 2 hours late. And there is nobody there. I mean, there is nobody there. When I don't use that figuratively. There was nobody there. I mean, and there was a couple of press people. There were some of his campaign people, but in terms of potential voters at this rally, there was nobody there. So he goes up to the podium, and as he's going to the podium, he says, "Oh, wait a minute, before I say anything, let me do this for you." And he plays the Spanish language song Despacito, which the Despacito means slowly. How appropriate. So he plays the song. He's bobbing his head, trying to jive to the music. And the response on Twitter was pretty bad. I mean, who in the Biden campaign thought this was a good idea? Somebody said, "Geesh, I'm a Biden supporter, and this made me cringe." But it gets even better. Joe sniffed the woman's hair, Biden. Joe rub the woman's shoulders, Biden. He plays this song, Despacito. Let me translate for you the lyrics into English. This is Joe Biden. This is the guy who will go up behind grab your wife by the shoulders and literally stick his nose in your wife's hair and start sniffing. Doesn't matter how old the person is. It could be your 50-year-old wife. It could be your 15-year-old daughter. Joe is he's a equal opportunity groper. So the words to this song that he's playing as he comes up to the podium, I'll translate for you. Slowly. I want to breathe your neck slowly. Let me tell things in your ears so that you remember when you're not with me. Slowly. I want to undress you and kisses slowly. What moron on the Biden campaign? Because, look, he doesn't do anything on his own. He didn't do anything on his own. But what moron on his campaign thought this would be a good idea? Yeah, bring it up a little bit. Here we go. I know this is obviously the Spanish version. Despacito. I want to breathe your neck slowly. Let me tell you things in your ears so that when you'll remember me when you're not with me. This is what the guy is known for, is breathing down your wife's neck, groping your daughter's shoulders.
Come on, man.
He will. So it gets even better. CBS News is reporting on the Biden campaign rally down in Florida, the Hispanic rally. Remember back in April, CBS News was trying to make Donald Trump look bad. And so they were trying to make COVID look as bad as they possibly could, just pretty much like the News and Observer tried to do in North Carolina this afternoon. So back in April, when CBS was reporting on how bad COVID was in New York, the report was how the hospital was just being overwhelmed. Remember, they showed a video clip, told you it was New York. They got caught. It was a video clip from Italy. And they had to admit, we're sorry. It was a mistake. Yeah, right. They made a mistake again when they were reporting on the Biden Latino deal, which took place last night. It's supposed to take place at 6:30. He didn't show up to 8. They actually showed footage from the Latino rally that Donald Trump had in Arizona the day before. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. and how stupid are they? So they're saying this is the Joe Biden rally, and the person in the center of the picture is wearing an I Love Trump hat. There was nobody there. I mean, when I say there was nobody there, there was nobody there. So what happens today? The next day. So Joe gets back. He speaks to an empty room, and it's amazing how the mainstream media is covering for Joe. So nobody's there. So they're talking about the Joe Biden rally, and they're showing the clip where there was hundreds of people there at the Donald Trump rally. And by the way, I said 4 years ago, and I've mentioned this recently, but I said 4 years ago when Hillary was running against Trump, that even conservatives like Charles Krauthammer said, well, the fact that Trump's got a lot more people at his rallies than Hillary Clinton, that's not that significant. Wait a minute. I said Charles, with all due respect, God bless Charles Krauthammer, with all due respect, and I said this 4 years ago, I said then there's no way that is not significant, because we're not talking about, okay, Trump has 50 and Hillary has 40. We're talking about Trump has 10 to 20,000, and Hillary has 200 or 300. And if you remember, 4 years ago, I said the day that Hillary Clinton came in to pick community college, I went over there to look at the crowd. And I remember people from Channel 7 challenged me on this, and I said, there's no way. I went over there. There was maybe 300 people there at the rally, 350 tops. And the people who were channel said, oh, no, there was 1,200 people there. There's no way there was 1,200 people there. And I said then, look, this is significant. So now we've got Joe Biden running with nobody showing up to his rallies. And Donald Trump, again, he has COVID, but he still has thousands. He had, 7,000 to 10,000 people in Winston-Salem. Who knows how many he'll have in Fayetteville this Saturday night. So Joe gets back to Delaware. I guess he was so exhausted that he didn't make the trip to New Hampshire. He sent his wife. So Jill Biden goes up to New Hampshire and campaigns for Joe. And she went to several different cities. She went to Bedford, Manchester, Dover. There was one shot of her speaking outside in front of a barn. They had the flag and some stacks of hay. And again, nobody there. Now, in this case, okay, there was people there. I'm saying nobody in this case, figuratively. There might have been 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. Then she has she goes to another place, and there's like a car rally, drive by, honk the horn rally. I mean, there's video of this out there. There's like 6 cars in this rally. I mean, you talk about embarrassing. I ran for the state senate back in, was it 96? I mean, just the state senate. I go to these campaign events that we show. And look, I mean, this is just a state senate race, and we'd have more people at that than Joe Biden is having at his rallies. It is unbelievable. We've got to take a timeout. Stay with us. Lots more to talk about. Love to hear from you. 561-8255. We'll get to your phone calls when we get back. Stay with us. More news and views coming up.
If your car isn't moving smoothly, it isn't moving safely. At Colony Tire, buy 1 Falcon brand passenger or light truck tire and get 1 half off. Colony Tire is a better way to go.
See store for details. No other discounts apply. Offer ends 10/17/20.
E&S Hemp Company in Winterville is your premier CBD store. At E&S Hemp Company, they have helped hundreds of people just like you get relief from joint pain, anxiety, insomnia, and more by providing you the highest quality of CBD products available. E&S Hemp Company has a great selection of only the safest, purest, and most beneficial hemp-infused products available, from honey, tea, coffee, candles, and more. E&S Hemp Company, Fire Tower Road in Winterville, and online ateshempcompany.com.
Divorce is never easy, but there's a right way and a wrong way. At A&R Law, the law firm of Ashley Nicole Russell, healthy divorce is what they emphasize. For the greater good of everyone, there's a way for a divorce with integrity for both sides. That's why Ashley Nicole Russell wants you to know you have options. At A&R Law, their focus is to help you and protect your children. Traditional litigation settlements are very costly and no one really wins. Ashley Nicole Russell initiated the concept of collaborative divorce in Eastern Carolina, and it's helped countless families. Ashley Nicole literally wrote the book on this concept, The Cure for Divorce Culture, and she speaks all over the country to help promote the idea of healthy divorce. If you're currently experiencing conflict, please call the offices in Greenville, Beaufort, or Raleigh and let them walk you through the steps that can lead to a positive, life-changing experience for you and your children. Learn more at anrlaw.com. Attorney Ashley Nicole Russell can show you a better way to divorce.
Carone Outdoor Products is your exclusive Eastern North Carolina dealer for the ultimate UTV, the Roxor. Roxor is a 4x4 turbo diesel, all-steel, rugged, fun vehicle that's ready for the farm, the beach, the town, wherever life takes you. With an on-site test track that gives you the full experience, Carone Outdoor Products is excited to be the exclusive Roxor dealer from Myrtle Beach to Virginia. And while you're here at Carone Outdoor Products, you can also see 4 other great manufacturers at the same location. We have a great selection of Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Ford vehicles to go along with an experienced and friendly sales and service staff to make it all easy for you. Make the short trip to Wallace, North Carolina and check out Carone Outdoor Products. Check out the website at BillCaroneCars.com or give us a call, 910-285-7151. Come see the ultimate UTV, the Roxor, at Carone Outdoor Products. Give us a try. You'll be glad you did.
If your car isn't moving smoothly, it isn't moving safely. At Colony Tire, buy 3 Falcon brand passenger or light truck tires and get a 4th one free. Colony Tire is a better way to go.
See store for details. No other discounts apply. Offer ends 10/17/20.
We choose truth over facts.
No matter what he says.
I got hairy legs.
No matter what he does.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Just goes to show you that this election is anything but normal.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black, play the radio. Make sure the television,
The countdown to the presidential election continues on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Your weather forecast tonight is the last night that we're not going to be inundated with rain for the next couple of days. Starting tomorrow, there is a 80% chance of rain, a high near 77 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, a 90% chance of rain. Rainfall amounts between 1 and 2 inches. Friday, a 70% chance of precip with a high near 75. Friday night, it starts to slow down. Chance of rain on Friday night, just 40%. Saturday, high near 70, mostly cloudy. And Sunday, finally, we'll get a great day, mostly sunny with a high near 69. So the remnants of Sally are going to be heading our way and inundating us with rainfall. 5618255. Let's go to the phones. We have Jeff from, I think he said he was driving over near Middlesex as we talk. Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. I did two Trump rallies the last 2 weeks. I went to Lake Gaston the Saturday before last, and there was like 880 boats at that rally.
Wow.
And then I also went to the Trump rally in Winston-Salem, and there was 15,000
15,000
at the rally.
Wow.
15,000.
Are you going to head down to Fayetteville this weekend?
No, I was too much stuff to do now, but it was amazing. There was probably between 35 and 50 protesters on the other side of the street for Biden against 15,000 people. It was kind of crazy.
Well, you know, the other crazy thing is when Joe goes to these rallies, there are more Trump supporters at these rallies than there are Biden supporters at these rallies. It's unbelievable. I mean, there is nobody there for Joe. I almost feel sorry for them. Not quite. I don't really feel sorry for him. I mean, I have to admit, I'm sort of enjoying it, to be honest with you. But
what are we talking about?
I don't understand that anybody could be voting the other direction in the way that Trump has done this economy in the last 3 years. It's just unbelievable. And you know, he's kept every promise that he's made, and no president's ever done that before.
Not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime.
Yeah, I was not a Trump supporter when it first come out. I was going for Ted Cruz, but I've been converted.
Oh, I'm right there with you, Jeff. Absolutely. When he was running, now, I mean, by this time 4 years ago, I was on the Trump train. But early on, I was really questioning. I probably leaned towards Cruz more than the other candidates. But, yeah, I was early on and I look back over things that Trump had said, you know, years before and the people he was hanging around with. And I thought, is this guy truly a conservative? But my goodness, he has surrounded himself with great people. And you are absolutely right. He has done more for this economy. And what blows my mind is Joe Biden is out there talking about how lousy the economy is. And I mean, it's like, Joe, do you not think that we can't remember back to pre-Trump when you and Obama were in charge and how terrible it was?
Evidently he thinks since he can't remember, nobody else can either.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. 5618255. Love to hear from you. Let's go to Joel. Hey, Joel.
Hey, Tom. Listen, I have a really interesting story.
Okay.
I can't really give you the details about my business, but I have a small business on the other side of the airport in Greenville.
Okay.
And it's an industrial park area that's, you know, had businesses in and out for many years. So today I go to my mailbox, which I don't check very often. And a lot of times I get mail from the previous occupants of the place. And
sure. Yeah.
And what I have in there are 4 voter registration cards from the Pitt County Board of Elections with 5 different people's names on it, with their names and address that sound very familiar to the street that my warehouse is on. It's kind of like the same name, but they're not the same area. And it blew my mind. I'm thinking, you know what, this voter fraud stuff that we keep talking about is real.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is real.
Why?
It's got these people's names on it. Like there's 4 people on these envelopes that I pulled out with their names, and the address is you know, sounds like the one where I'm at, but it's not. And it's right there. I mean, I could just fill it out and vote.
Well, is it actually a ballot, or is it a postcard?
Voter registration
to ask for an absentee ballot? Or
right, but it has their names on it and their address.
Why would you send that to a industrial park? Why would you send that to what is obviously a business?
Exactly. Well, it could be obviously a business, but it's you know you go to an industrial park with rolls of mailboxes. But look, it had like 4 or 5 people's names on it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is real."
Yeah, and
you're
just one location. Multiply that by how many millions?
I'm telling you, man, this fraud stuff is real, and everybody who thinks, well, it's just what we see on the news, it's real, and it's even more succinct when you see the person's first, last name, middle name, and then an address. And like you said, this is a drop in the bucket, but it is real, and everybody out there needs to realize it's being bombarded. Now, and the mail person should have known better, but what can you say now? Nobody wears uniforms in the mail now that I see. So, but it's real and it's crazy. I knew voter fraud is going to be a problem, but when you see it like that, 4 different people, really.
Listen, they know they can't win without stealing this election. It's just, there's no way possible.
Mm-hmm.
I felt this way 4 years ago with Hillary Clinton, and I said it on the air. I said, there's no way Hillary's going to win. I feel 10 times stronger this time than I did 4 years ago that Donald Trump is going to win. But 4 years ago, we weren't concerned about them stealing it. I think they know they can't win. The other side knows they can't possibly win. But
see, the interesting thing is it's so overt now. It's so, we can listen to radio shows all day long and go, oh, man, that must be in some,
That's right here.
Metropolitan area.
That's right here.
But, man, in a little bitty mailbox right here in Pitt County, and you see Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, and then the other, person, and the other, and it's got their names on it, man. That's unbelievable. Yeah. So I believe, like I said, I listen to the radio and watch the TV, and we're all like, oh, man, is that really real? It is real.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, though,
I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to have to tear them up or do something, but.
Well, you might want to hold on to them. You never know how they would be useful. But again, this what was sent out was an invitation to go ahead and request an absentee ballot. I would assume it's not an actual opportunity to vote.
But the way I opened one,
let's see. Now they'll come arrest you.
but it looks so much like a legitimate. Well, actually, it is, because the return address is the Pitt County Board of Elections on the envelope. So,
well, if nothing else, call Pitt County Board of Elections and say, hey, what's the deal here?
Well, man, I'm telling you, I got to be the grain man until this stuff, because I didn't think this was real, but it's real.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Joel, thanks for sharing that with us. Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Some good news. How about some good news? Folks, you're going to see the riots come to an end in short order. Real short order. Why? According to the Washington Examiner and PJ Media, Democrats and the media, who have, with such cockiness, have predicted Donald Trump's pivot to law and order, being the law and order president, wouldn't do him any good. Hold the presses on that. The issue of law and order, regardless of who is causing the unrest, causing the riots, and for whatever reason, it has hit every American in a personal way. And while Donald Trump needs the suburban moms and the ex-urban whites, his message is resonating, as the law and order president, is resonating with those people affected directly by the riot zones. According to the latest Rasmussen report, listen to this now. According to the latest Rasmussen report survey, 63% of voters who have seen violent protest in their community strongly approve of the president. 35% don't. Again, folks, this is why you're going to see the riots come to an end in short order. In fact, there was another article out today that I saw. I can't remember what publication it was on. But basically, the riots in Portland are over now. They're done. Now, it might be because there's nothing left of the city. It's entirely burned to the ground. But again, 63% of the voters who have seen violent protest in their community strongly, not just approve, strongly approve of the president. The survey is the latest showing Trump's winning the law and order vote. So, I mean, you have Seattle, Portland, Minneapolis, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Rasmussen, who has consistently shown a higher approval rating for Trump than other surveys, has the president at 51% approval. We mentioned that just a few minutes ago. The law and order vote is a big one. Rasmussen said that 42% of likely voters said their communities have hosted the anti-police protest in their communities, and nearly half of those protests turned violent, making them a big issue even to those who haven't witnessed the violence. Now, listen, you can go around and say, oh, there's no violence. They're all peaceful protesters. And the national mainstream media, they have their head up their butts, and they're lying through their teeth. But it doesn't matter, because the people that live in these communities are seeing it firsthand. Among all voters, 65% say the violent protests are important in their vote in the presidential election. 41% say it is very important. Among those who have had violent protests in their community, even more, 76% rate them important to their vote. So amongst all voters, 65% say violent protests are important in their vote. When the violence has come to their community, 76% rate them as important in their vote. 54% say they're very important. 63% of those voters strongly approve of the job Trump is doing versus 35% who strongly disapprove. Folks, I can guarantee you, these people can read. The George Soroses of the world can read. You're going to see these protests fade away, wane away. There'll be a few skirmishes here and there from the lemmings that don't know. They haven't gotten the memo that the riots have been called off. But the good news, and this is going to be proof. I mean, you can call me up and say, Lamprecht, you were wrong in a couple of weeks if they're still going on. Mark my words, they'll just sort of dissipate. They'll just sort of disappear. The mainstream media won't report on them anymore. Well, they haven't been reporting on them because they're nothing but peaceful protests. Unbelievable. By the way, some more good news for Trump. More than 200 former military officers backed Trump in a letter warning that the 2020 presidential candidate Joe Biden would usher in socialist and Marxist influences on the American government. He already. I mean, if he wins, we ought to. No, he's not going to win, so I don't have to really worry about it. But we ought to have like a football pool. How many days will he actually serve as the president? But he's not going to win, so don't worry about it. We got to take a time out. Stay with us. More news and views coming up, and love to hear from you. 561-8255. We'll be right back.
GoEco is the office equipment company that people all over eastern North Carolina are turning to for their office copier and equipment needs. GoEco sells and services Canon copiers and office products. They have a great service team that's quick to respond when you need them. We here at Interbanks Media just made the switch to GoEco, and they're saving us money in printing costs. Other businesses in and around Greenville are making the switch too. Dirk's Chiropractic switched over a year ago and saved money. GoEco bought out their existing lease, and Dirk's Chiropractic received better products fitting their needs. In fact, GoEco has saved local clients who have switched over $178,000. Oh, and some businesses might qualify for no payments until 2021. Call Area Sales Director Tom Watkins at GoEco for a free consultation today. 252-227-0581 or email info@goeconc.com. Save money by switching to GoEco.
In this election, the health and financial security of Americans 50 plus are on the line. From preventing cuts to Social Security, to protecting Medicare, to lowering prescription drug prices, you deserve to cast your vote on the issues that matter to you. And AARP is here to help. We're working to make sure your voice is heard. And this year, that means voting early and voting safely. Know all your voting options: in person, from home, or absentee. And if you're not voting in person, be sure to request and return your ballot early. Everyone from working parents to family caregivers to seniors in nursing homes should be able to vote safely. So don't wait. Visit us at aarp.org/ncvotes and find out how to vote early. You deserve the peace of mind that comes with voting safely and knowing your vote will count. Learn how AARP North Carolina is fighting to protect voters 50 plus. Visit aarp.org/ncvotes today. Paid for by AARP.
Want glowing, healthy skin? Contact Shannon Chappell at the Skin Center of Greenville. With over 18 years experience in the beauty and skincare industry, Shannon specializes in teen and young adult acne treatments, facials, light therapy, customized peels, and offers virtual and in-office beauty and wellness consultations. The Skin Center of Greenville, 3701 Charles Boulevard, Suite 108. On the web at theskincenterskincare.com or by calling 347-1329. The Skin Center of Greenville. Your skincare journey begins here. Summer means sun and fun, and Bertie County peanuts are a summertime family favorite. Small batch, hand-cooked, and 100% guaranteed, Bertie County peanuts are perfect at the beach, on the river, or sitting on the front porch watching the day go by. Order online at BertieCountyPeanuts.net. Give them a call at 800-457-0005 or drop by and taste the tradition at Powell & Stokes in Windsor. Bertie County Peanuts, North Carolina's best summertime snack.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Eastern Carolina's place to talk about
coronavirus. It's on the police.
Everything.
Give me liberty or give me COVID-19.
Right now, more news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Joel, who called in a little while ago talking about the fact that he'd gotten those postcards from the Pitt County Board of Elections. Joel, we had a caller call in and say you need to look up those names, see if those people are still alive. Good suggestion. You know, these mayors and governors, like our own Governor Cooper, but like Mayor de Blasio, just shutting down the city, losing your tax base, unchecked crime, unchecked leftist propaganda going on. I mean, the mayor's out there in front of Trump Towers, you know, painting Black Lives Matter. I mean, do you think that that's going to attract people to come to your city, the tourists to come to your city? I mean, can you imagine how bad tourism is right now in New York City? And, you know, tourism is a big industry for New York City. Nobody's going up there right now. So, do these guys and gals that are on the left, what are they thinking about in terms of, I mean, do they want to bankrupt the nation? I mean, you know, never let a good crisis go to waste, but they're creating the crisis themselves. Do they want to bankrupt the nation? Do they think the federal government's going to come bail them out? Are they so economically illiterate that they don't really realize that without money you can't operate? Well, de Blasio, things are bad in New York, and so de Blasio is very generously decided that he and his wife, along with 493 others, will take unpaid furlough at some point between October 1st, 2020 and March 2021. Now, they're so far into debt, they can't even see the top. That is expected, that 1 week furlough by 495 people is supposed to save the city, according to the New York Times, save the city $860,000. The city has been facing roughly a $9 billion budget deficit. So he's going to save them not even $1 million. So $1 billion is what, 1,000 million. So you have $9,000 million that he has to save. So he's going to save maybe one of those $9,000 million, not quite. But so and he said, yeah, I'm going to take it myself. His salary, and this is a guy who has decimated the city. He's getting paid $258,541 in salary by taking this 1 week furlough, which, okay, it's an unpaid week's vacation. He will miss out on $5,000. So his salary will drop from $258,000 to $253,000. And I'm sure he's very proud of this. I'm sure he's strutting around, so happy that he's doing this. What a guy. Mike Ditka, the former Chicago Bears coach, Mike Ditka. He was on Newsmax, and he was talking about what's going on in the country, talking about the first week of football. And he has said on several occasions, back in 2016, when Colin Kaepernick started protesting, he said, if you don't like the country, get the hell out. Then when they started taking a knee, he said, if you don't like the country, get the hell out. Here's what he said yesterday.
I mean, it's not a complicated thing. You play the game, you enjoy the game. If you don't like the game, get out of it. It's not for protesting one way or the other, what color you are, what you think, this and that. Hey, you play football. That's it. You're privileged. You got a gift from God that you can play the game because you got a body you can do it with. I don't really understand what you're protesting. I mean, I played the game. I coached the game for a long time, and it makes no sense to me. You ought to get down on your hands and knees and thank God every night that you can make the kind of money you can make playing football or playing any sport. I would tell those players, go to another country and play football there. Then you don't have to come out for the anthem if you go to another country. You can, because the game's only played in this country. And if you can't respect this country, get the hell out of it.
There you go. He's been very consistent. Hasn't changed his tune at all. Mike, he's sounding a little old there, though, isn't he? I've always liked Mike Ditka. Netflix, you've heard about this movie that Netflix is running. It's called Cuties. And basically, it's, according to a number of folks on both sides of the aisle, it's tantamount to child pornography. It's about 4 11-year-old girls who, at one point in the movie, they actually show one of the girls' bare breast. And it is, according to Ted Cruz, what they're showing people go to jail for. It is child pornography. Now, the guys that made the film, there's no, we're against child pornography. It is, and that's a change of the tune. And even Tulsi Gabbard, who ran for the presidency, she has blasted Netflix over this. She said, at Netflix, child porn cuties will certainly whet the appetite of pedophiles and help fuel the child sex trafficking trade. 1 in 4 victims of trafficking are children. It happened to my friend's 13-year-old daughter. Netflix, you are now complicit. Cancel Netflix, Gabbard wrote on Twitter. And indeed, cancellations are up 8-fold in August. I'm sorry, they're up 8-fold just in the last week from where they were in August. Because this film apparently just went on Netflix just a week or two ago. So people are voting with their pocketbooks and saying, you know what, I've got, and people do. I mean, there are a lot of subscribers to Netflix, but you've got plenty of choices out there. Cancel Netflix and go to something else. The Senate Homeland Security Committee voted today to authorize subpoenas for a bunch of Obama people. Former CIA Director John Brennan, Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, James Comey. The committee on Wednesday held business meetings to authorize Committee Chairman Ron Johnson to issue notices for taking depositions, subpoenas for records, subpoenas for testimony. The list is quite long. A number of people from the FBI. Susan Rice is on the list. Peter Strzok is on the list. It is not over yet. I know a lot of people are disappointed that nothing has been done. It is not over yet. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And John Brennan is not a real likable guy. James Clapper is a terrible liar. When he's gone in and lied to the FBI before, it's pretty obvious he's lying. Not to the FBI, to Congress. Pretty obvious he's lying. So we'll see where this goes. We've got to take another timeout. Stay with us. More coming up.
Pitt County has a rich tradition of collaboration, bringing organizations and individuals together to improve the quality of life in our community. It is because of these strong and interconnected community partnerships that the county is honored to receive the 2020 All-America County designation from the National Civic League. Through innovative solutions such as the Local Reentry Council, which has helped transition over 500 individuals from incarceration back into society, or the Farm and Food Council, which works to promote a more sustainable and equitable food system, or the innovative Community Paramedic Program. We strive to open doors of opportunity to new pathways of success for all our residents. Pitt County is grateful to the National Civic League for recognizing our efforts in truly being an All-America County. To learn more about this award or how you can get involved in your community, visit www.pittcountync.gov/allamerica.
Warm weather is here, and if you're looking for some great new furniture for your home or your beach or river place, you need to shop in Snow Hill at Hardy Appliance and Furniture, because it's never been more true that you get a better deal in Snow Hill. You have to see some of these coastal living items to believe them. Just gorgeous, including coastal living sectionals and sofas with washable slip covers made from stain-proof Krypton fabrics. These are really high-quality sofas, but at a great price. And Hardy Appliance and Furniture will deliver to your beach or river place, so you can get a great price and great service without paying resort prices. Coastal Living's given Hardy Appliance and Furniture extra inventory because they're moving their plant, so there's never been a better time than now to buy. Carl Hardy is passing along the discount he's getting from Coastal Living right now to you. So don't miss these great deals before the inventory is gone. Hardy Appliance and Furniture on the Square in Snow Hill. Remember, you get a better deal in Snow Hill.
Have you been to the Mad Boar lately? If not, you don't know what you're missing. The Mad Boar in Wallace offers fine dining as well as a fun dining experience in the pub. The pub is where you'll also find live music every Friday and Saturday. On Mondays, specials include burgers and beer served with one side for $8. Wednesday is BOGO Day. BOGO half-off appetizers all day long. On Thursday, it's the famous Mad Boar fried shrimp platter featuring calabash-style fried shrimp served with fresh slaw and potato wedges for only $13.95. On Friday, it's the prime rib dinner with horseradish cream sauce and au jus, served with baked potato and your choice of house or Caesar salad, all for just $24. And finally, the Mad Boar features Sunday country comfort with $3 mimosas and $5 Mad Marys. The food is always fantastic and the atmosphere can't be beat. Don't forget live music Friday and Saturday night at the Mad Boar, located just off I-40 in Wallace at exit 385 on Highway 41. Come taste the madness.
News and views.
He's kind of a diva. He's absolutely fascinating.
Ultimate gentleman spy. Irresistible to women, deadly to his enemies, a legend in his own time.
You won't believe what he's going to say next on Talk 96.3 and 103.7. Here's Tom Lamprecht.
So you remember a couple of months ago, there was a situation on Twitter where Donald Trump was running an ad, had a connection to an ad. You go on Twitter and you see his tweet, and there was a link to a anti-Joe Biden ad. Twitter took it down. I think they even penalized him and saying he was banned from Twitter for a period of time because they say the ad was manipulated, that they took different shots of Joe and they put them together, and it was a false narrative. It was manipulated video. So now Donald Trump has gone back to Twitter, where his campaign has, and said, wait a minute, okay, Joe Biden has got an ad up there slamming us, and it's taken totally out of context. They've grabbed material from months ago, and they put it up against material from here. And it's out of context. It's manipulated video. So you'd think it'd be equal right now. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. They just, nothing's done. No, that's fine. As long as it's Joe Biden attacking you, Mr. President, that's fine. Joe Biden was talking about his time down in Florida. He was sharing a story, talking about an ex-Marine. Johnny Joey Jones was on Fox earlier today talking about Joe Biden sharing this, quote, story. Joe Biden said there was a Marine veteran. He had been deployed a total of 6 times. And he had PTS. He got in his truck, started down the street, saw a woman walking her dog, ran her over, killed her dog, put her in the back of his pickup truck, molested her, came home, called the state police, I just killed someone. This is what Biden said yesterday in Tampa. Johnny Joey Jones, said there was a voice in my head that there was something wrong with this statement. Biden goes on to say, we've got to end the stigma surrounding mental health treatment. It's the worst thing I've ever heard as a presidential candidate. And Jones comes out and says, I listened to this story and I said, there's no there. He is convinced that Joe Biden has made this story up out of thin air. He said, these men and women may lose their will to live, talking about men and women who come home with post-traumatic syndrome. He said, these men and women may lose their will to live, but they don't lose their soul. Jones went on to say, they may hurt themselves, but they don't go on hurting others. That is very rare. And for Biden to tell that story just because he thought it had some shock value and somehow likened himself to the issue just shows how out of touch he is. Now, if Joe Biden was confronted with that, Joe Biden said, well, I lost a son and I've got a son who was in the military, so you can't say anything to me. Jones said, I was very upset because these are men and women that I fight every day to keep alive. This guy Jones has got a ministry to men and women who are suffering with this, and he's out there trying to minister to them. And for Biden to say this, he was incensed and said it's just not fair, it's just not true. The presidential race, 48 more days.